buddy. Thank you guys for being patient. We're still working on that issue, but in the meantime, I figured I'd come on and not leave you guys hanging. I see uh, Louise is already complaining, so you know I don't want her to do that, so that's why I came on. No, just joking. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. Let me see who is here today. Marcus is trying to work out. I guess he's having some issues with his phone picking up his mic. But we'll work it out. We'll make it happen. Um, so Jacob was the first one in here. Jacob, thank you for being here. Cam Jam, thank you, ma'am. Right behind Jacob. And then we have Why Are We Always Yelling? Sam, thank you for coming in. Let's see. Who else do we have? We have Beto. You haven't really missed much yet. I cannot hear your message. I have Zoom. Oh, okay. I'm reading a message that he sent me. Uh, bear with me. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to give him instructions, but I can't. Apparently, I can't type and talk at the same time. We have Elite Menagerie Habitats. Louise, thank you for being here. Hey, GNC Aquatics. How you doing, Gabriel? Thank you for coming in. Uh, we got Price Tag Aquariums. Joe, thank you for joining us. I'm trying to work out some audio issues with the host. I mean, with the guest. And I'm trying to send him a message. Um, let's see. Oh, we have Shy Savage Cichlets. Thanks for coming in. Well, anyways, while we wait for Marcus to try to log back in, Beto and his tridents. Yeah. Let's see. He's texting me right now. I did, but I will try it again. Really didn't give me much. Okay. Let's see. He's going to give it another try. Hopefully, we can sort out these audio issues. And you guys will get to meet Marcus. Just to give you a little bit of a background on Marcus, he's got his channel. Well, it's called Aquarium Hacks by Marcus. So just off the name, you can already tell what he really does on his videos. He likes to bring you, I guess, different ways of doing the same thing that we do. And he's got a lot of good inside tips. Uh, I really enjoy what he's doing because I know, hey, it's Shai's birthday, huh? I'm a year younger today. Happy birthday, Shai. Congratulations. And sometimes we got to be ballers on a budget, and which is nothing wrong with that. And that's exactly what Marcus is offering you guys up is how to be able to do some of these things for a fraction of the cost, which is always great. Sometimes uh, money can be ebbs and flows. Sometimes you have some, and sometimes it gets a little bit tight, but you still want to do the hobby. And he offers you different suggestions, tips, ideas how to accomplish some of these things. Also, how to improve on equipment, things like that. So that's one of the reasons why I really was gravitated towards his channel. He's been doing it And the other thing is he consistently posting, which is really really good for channels, especially if you're always looking for something to watch. He's pretty regular with his postings, and there's always something new to be able to look through. Let me see while he is trying to log back in. Let me take you to his channel, and I can show you a little bit of what we're talking about. Let's see. Aquarium. There it is. All right. Let me go there. Okay. So let me share you guys his channel. I'm still waiting for him to pop back on. Anyways, hopefully you guys have been having a good weekend. Mine's been uneventful. There it is. It looks like he. Oh no, that's what. That wasn't smart. Let me see. What do you guys? Okay, sorry. You guys are looking at his channel, right? Let me bring the chat up to make sure that I'm not missing any of your comments. Baller on a budget here. Yeah, I guess we all are at some point. But oh, Gabriel, since you're here, um, after the live stream, if you're available, I'd like to give you a call because I got a question for you. Okay, well, definitely. And okay, so let's go to Marcus' channel while he kind of sorts things out. Um, again, what I really enjoy about his videos, which I think is really really neat, is that he basically shares with you some of the stuff that he's been doing, some of the other things that as he puts it, little hacks that you can do in your fish room to try to improve your your hobby, right? Um, and it's a lot of this stuff is stuff that he does with stuff he's got laying around. We all, if there's one thing that hobbyists or aquarium keepers have is extras of a lot of things. Because I don't know about you guys, but I seldom throw stuff away. Um, we get to this point where it's always I don't want to get rid of that because I can use it later on down the road, and that is the truth with me. I actually have quite a bit of things that I actually do need to get rid of, um, just because I need to make room. I'm not using them. I haven't used them, so if I haven't used them in over a year, I'm not going to need them, and I just need to part with them. Now it won't allow my camera. I'm trying, George. All right, no worries. And it's just one of those situations. I love it when hack is you try a bunch and most fails, but satisfy you when they work. Yeah, that's true. It is a lot of trial and error, but most of the stuff that he will post about is stuff that he's kind of already figured out and kind of worked it out, and so that's what's really cool that he's willing to do that. Let's see. Thing that lays around most here is my wife. I put her to work in the fish. Yeah, no, I think you're on your own on that one, Gabriel. I don't want to mess with her. I wouldn't mess with her. Um, you know, she'll put you in your place right away. Hey, Ed, how's it going? Thank you for coming in. Um, we're trying to work out some audio issues with Marcus. That's the only reason he's still not up here. But in the process of doing that, I'd figured I'd share some of the stuff that I like from his YouTube channel. One of the things that I really found interesting is like this one here, little tips. Like one of the things that I used to struggle with, and I had already seen this before, but I hadn't really thought about it, is when you want to hang out um, certain stuff that has pre-drilled, not pre-drilled, but pre-made holes to be able to install stuff. One of the things that I always used to struggle with was trying to get the right distance, and there was a lot of trial and error, a lot of making unnecessary holes. And I forget whose video I was watching. I think it must have been like a home improvement channel or something like that. And they took basically some masking tape or painter's tape, and you basically put it on the backside. I'm trying to see if I have. Well, here, let's watch this video. Why am I trying to? Let's get them some view times. One of the things that you do. Okay, here's the picture. Let me bring that up. All right, you see these. You see the two holes in the back of that. In this case, it's a light. Well, sometimes the way I used to try to figure out, I would try to measure the distance from the middle of one hole to the other. I'm not the brightest person, and I couldn't. I had if it hadn't been for that video that I watched, I don't know if I would have figured this shit out. But so one of the struggles was always trying to get the right measurements that were always a little bit off, and it always made it a little bit more difficult to try to match those holes up, and sometimes I would get frustrated and just kind of leave it aside and not continue doing it. But if you take some tape, and that's the best hack, you lay it over, you get enough tape to be able to cover the distance between the two openings on the back. And what I personally do, or the way I learned how to do this from the video that I watched, is you basically take a pencil and you rub it over the opening. And what it's going to do is going to do the it's going to draw on the tape basically the silhouette of the opening of that the opening of whatever it is you're trying to hang. And you're going to do it to both sides. So when you peel the tape back, you're going to be able to have a perfect match to the holes on the lamp. And you just kind of take that piece of tape, lay it in the area that you're going to use where you want to be able to hang the item. And I personally, what I do, I just drill right into it with where the center of that hole that's in that tape, and put in my screws or whatever it is that I'm going to do in there. And then once I've done that, I'll pull the tape off. Or sometimes I've even left the tape on there if it's difficult to get to. And what that's going to do is going to give you the perfect setting so that when you take that lamp or whatever feature it is you're trying to hang, to be able to slide it right in perfectly. And then just because if you notice, it's got a little offset, and that's where you'll slide the head of the screw that'll keep it from falling back. And ever since I learned how to do that, man, that's actually allowed me to save some of the few brain cells that I had, because I would get so frustrated because more often, well, actually every single time, they'd be off and you'd be trying to figure out how to do it, and you end up with a bunch of little holes around the area. So to me, that when I learned how to do that, was a game changer when it comes to trying to hang stuff on walls or the ceiling or wherever it is you're trying to hang stuff under the racks. That's the way I go about it now. Is I'll take those that basically, what do you want to call it? That trace that well, that tape, and stick it where I want it, and then be able to insert the screws or whatever it is that I need to do, remove that, and bingo, success every single time. The only thing that I've had to go back and do sometimes is just kind of with the screwdriver adjust the gap so that you don't have a lot of play. I'm holding the hose with the clamp, but more time I'll fill up the tank. Not enough flow. So let's see. Mike is trying to give me an update, so bear with me. Oh, did he? No. I was gonna try to see if he had joined the backstage. It was funny because he was on earlier. Okay, send me the link. Okay, give me a second, guys. Let me go do something. I gotta send him the link to his email. So I'm one of those persons. I guess apparently I can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time because I can't seem to type and text at the same time. So let me get this live stream link. Sending it to him. Yeah, hopefully that'll solve the issue. All right, I'll send it to him. Marcus, I sent you the link to your email, so you might want to check that. So those are just kind of some of the things that he'll share with you. One of the things is that that he did on one of his recent videos is how he modifies his sponge filters for because sometimes you can't buy or you're trying to adapt stuff, kind of make it your own so that it'll work. And he does that with stacking multiple of the extensions. Let's see. Let's actually go back to that video, which I thought was kind of interesting and cool because it kind of gave him a little bit more of a surface area for his sponge filters. And yeah, so that's what he's doing here. He's kind of showing you how he'll stack multiple extensions to create a longer sponge filter that he'll be able to, instead of having multiple, I guess, sponge filters throughout the aquarium, kind of stacks them all up and puts them in one corner. And he's kind of going about showing you how he does that, which I thought that was really interesting. I hadn't really seen anybody do that, and I use a lot of sponge filters, but that was not something that I had really thought about doing. Let me see if I can fast forward to where he's got it. He is also what he's doing in there. He's putting biomedia in the empty chambers to kind of give a lot more surface areas. I think I heard him. There he is.
Hear me?
Let's see if we got this resolved. I'll wait for him to pop up on. Oh, come on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now. All right.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to log in through my phone, and that thing just it just wouldn't do right. So I said, go ahead and send me that through your through my email, and maybe this computer work for me. But man, here's the messy fish room. So it is what it is.
That's a real fish room. Mine, if I turn my camera around, it's no different than yours. I was bagging plants yesterday, so I was bagging some Amazon swords, and every time you pull them out, you'll notice you have the decaying ones. So I was stripping all the dead stuff or the stuff that has holes in them, and all the leaves are on the floor. So if I show you my floor, it's gonna look no different. It's gonna have shit laying everywhere.
Ain't that for real?
Hey, that's just the way it goes when you have a functioning fish room.
Yeah, I know.
The people that have these galleries that they do, I love them, and I totally respect them because I don't know if I could ever give my fish room to be 100% clean 100% of the time.
I'm the same way, man. It's the fish room. Thank goodness my wife doesn't hardly ever come in here, and that way I could just have fun down here and do what I want to do to it. So,
yeah, my stuff will be clean for about a day, and then I'll have to do something, whether it's water changes or move some stuff around, and you get to working, and before you know it, it looked like even worse or just about the same before you cleaned it up. So it is what it is.
yeah, that's so true. I'm really happy to be here, George.
Oh, I'm
On
excited that
as
you
a guest
accepted.
on your show. So,
So
oh
now that
yeah,
you're here,
man.
why don't you
Yeah,
tell us a little
I've
bit?
been looking forward to this.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I'll let you kind of explain to us a little bit about your background and what it is you do on your channel. I was kind of sharing a little bit of your videos a little while ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been in the fish keeping hobby for over 30 years. And when I started, like a lot of people started off back in, years ago, I started off with a goldfish, like most of us do. Start off with a little gold.
Oh, dude.
Fish bowl, and we didn't know anything about fish, right, man? Uh,
Is it just me or is it glitching on his end too?
we
I can't tell if it's me or.
taking the fish and we was trying to clean out its that's just something that I've always liked to do. I used to work at a metal shop and we would build stuff all the time there. So, I got quite a bit of skills in some building. And so I wanted to incorporate that building into my aquarium hobby. And so as I started to mess around with different things, trying out different things, seeing products, how I could improve that product, make it better, or make it more efficient. I started to mess around with things, man. Started to build some aquariums. I started to seal aquariums. I started to make like I had a 135-gallon tank, one of those old tanks that didn't have a brace in it. It was just really thick glass. And so I
Mhm.
decided to make my own brace so that it wouldn't blow out so much. And I just started to mess around and started to do DIYs and stuff like that. Never, and a lot of my stuff, George, I never recorded on film, right? I mean, I've done tons of things. I just never recorded on film because back in the day, man, YouTube wasn't really that big. Nobody really had great cameras, right? They just we just did what we did in the hobby, and we weren't concerned about nothing else. It's just what we liked doing. And so one day my wife said, well, why don't you try putting your stuff out there on YouTube? And I said, well, I really don't want to mess with no YouTube. I really don't want to get into that. And she encouraged me and said, well, some people they might be interested in what you're doing. They might want to know some simple ways or some things that, how to take care of an aquarium, how to do some DIYs and how to do these things. I said, well, I just tried out with this little filter. I had a what is it? A Maringland 400 filter. I said, I just play around and try with that. So that first video was, my other videos aren't that great quality, but that first one was really terrible as far as the quality. But I did explain on what to do, to customize that filter. Then I did I think a couple more, show my fish room and stuff like that. And then I went a few years without even putting anything on YouTube. And then I decided, well, let me get back into it again. One of my buddies was on YouTube, and I said, well, let me just start hacking out, start doing stuff, and start filming stuff, And that's kind of how I started on YouTube. Just a small channel, just mainly because I just like doing it, man. I just like sharing my deals in the aquarium hobby.
I got a question from GNC Aquatics. He wants to know if you have a hack that will help us get our wives to put in more work in the fish room.
Actually, I do have a hack for that. Beg, beg. That's the best hack in the world. Beg your wife. You can't beat that
That seems
hack.
to be the answer for everything. Even if you try to get new fish, new tanks. I, well, yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I found it easier to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission after a while because it was immediately, nope, I haven't even asked you. I know what you're going to ask. It's no.
Ain't that for real, man? And my wife's been pretty. She's been pretty supportive. I tried
Yeah.
to get her into the hobby too. I bought her a little betta fish,
Okay.
and just trying to get her into the hobby, get her interest in it. And she had a little betta fish, and I said, "I'll help you take care of it." Well, one day the betta fish got stuck in some rock because she had too big of rocks down there. And the little sucker got his head stuck in the rock and it drowned.
Oh, wow.
And she was done with keeping the betta fish from there at that point on. But she don't have too many problems with me and my fish tanks and my room down here in the basement. She does all kinds of like that, and I got my little room right here. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because they'll tell us, they're not really into it or whatever, that they don't like it. But yet they're not totally being honest because they'll come in and they'll go, "Oh, that looks really nice," and then she'll look at something else. She goes, "Well, maybe if you took that and put it over here and moved that over there, it looked better." So they're always kind of giving you a little bit of feedback. They don't want to admit the fact that they're kind of getting into it, and that was even more evident now recently because for a while there, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in my garage. I wanted to, initially I was just going to set up tanks for display, and that lasted all about 2 days, and then all of a sudden I got that multi-tank syndrome and um, got some free stuff, and then that free stuff turned into more free stuff, and before I knew it, I had a entire garage full of tanks and aquariums. And at that point, she didn't really care for it too much because it looked crowded because I just had stuff everywhere, no rhyme or reason. And she goes, "Why don't you, instead of having everything kind of bunched up together?" Because I was trying to put everything on one side of the garage. She goes, "Why don't you start using all the walls in here and lay it all out there so it doesn't look like?" She goes, "It feels all." I walk in here and it feels claustrophobic. I said, "All right, done deal." So that was the second change in my fish room was taking all these tanks that I had in the middle of the garage and putting them on the walls. And then for that moment on, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna start breeding fish, and I can sell fish out of here and do kind of that stuff. But you quickly realize you can't breed enough. There's two things that happen. One, you're not breeding, you're not reproducing as fast as you thought you would be able to be able to keep up with demand, or you flood your market accidentally because you have too much of the same thing, and then everybody's got it, and you got nothing else to be able to sell them to. So those are kind of some of the learning curves that I went through. Uh, where I decided also the other thing is you don't realize how much time having a breeding fish room, not so much a display fish room, but if you're doing the breeding stuff, you have to stay on top of water changes, picking out fries, setting up tanks to grow out those fry. That stuff, if you don't put in the time, you're not going to have the success you think you're going to have, or so I learned that pretty fast, and I realized, you know what, that's cool. I love to do that. I'll revisit that, but it's going to have to be once either my work schedule changes and it gives me a lot more time off to be able to do that stuff, or I'm going to have to wait till I retire and then I can do this full time, just be able to dedicate to the fish room. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, you're having to deal with family functions and I, you know, I don't know about you, but our family is big, and it seems like every other weekend is an event that's going on, and you're like, I got to go to that. I can't hang around at the fish room.
Yeah, and that is true. and I used to breed fish and sell them at the fish stores, and I used to do plants and sell them on eBay, and I did all this stuff, shrimp too, sell them and stuff like that. But you are 100% right. It is quite a job, and it's if you got to put a lot of time into it, and in my opinion, it should be more than just a one man job. I mean, I guess one man could do a small one, but if you really want to go big, you really need some extra help, some extra hands in doing something like that. I still breed fish from time to time, and sometimes I will sell them at the fish shop or I trade them, but I don't do it near on the scale that I used to do it because there's just not enough money to make a good living out of it just solely. It might be enough money to make a little extra money on the side, but you got to understand too, you're putting time and effort and money into that hobby, and if that's not greater then, or if you're not making more money than what you're putting into it, then you're not really benefiting much as far as financially, electricity bills and water changes. Sorry about that. I've got
No, you're good.
people constantly texting. I'm going to put this on silent so it doesn't make any more noise. But yeah, you're constantly and if you're constantly doing that and you're not bringing in enough, it just doesn't really fan out. So if you can do it on a large scale and you're making pretty good money at it, fine, great, continue at it. But if you're not making enough money to pay your bills or pay for the hobby itself, then you're really starting to hurt yourself a little bit there, I think.
Yeah. They got a question for you. It says, how many tanks do you have?
Oh, right now, as you can see behind me, I only have 4 going right now, and that little one that's right back there, that's not even a permanent tank. That's the one on my last video. I'm just set that one up for a quarantining one of my Congo tetras, but I just have 3 tanks right now. I mean, I used to have a lot more than that, but I don't keep as many anymore because I'm so busy working and taking care of the house and everything else.
Yeah. And then the other question is, what has been the hack that you've had the most satisfaction from creating?
Woo, man. The hack that I had the most satisfaction from creating, man, that's a hard question to answer because I really take a lot of satisfaction from just about all my hacks that I do. And as I'm hacking, I'm usually just thinking of these things. There's always something going on in my mind on how to improve something. If I got a product and I see that product, I start working on it and I start filming it. But I don't know if there's one hack in particular that I like better than any other hack. I think I like them all about probably the same. I never really thought about it. I just, like them all that I do. Anything that can help people out and help the hobby out, pretty much.
What's been the most useful for you that you go, oh shoot, I really have to share this because it's one of those things where I'll tell you which one that you've done, and I was just talking about it before you came on, is using the tape to be able to find the distance between the hose on something you want to hang. That to me, learning that hack has really changed my opinion on when it came to hanging stuff, because I used to dread having to put fixtures up, lights up, because I don't know about you, but before I would try to measure the distance and you never got it right. It was always off by a little bit. And there you are trying to figure out a way to make it adjusting it so that you can get the screws to be able to slide into their slot and not fall back on you. And that used to be the most frustrating thing for me. And I forgot, it was like either some home improvement or something like that where I learned about that hack. And ever since I learned that, it really changed things for me, especially my attitude towards Simon and Hang stuff. What's one like similar to that you are like, man, how was I getting by without this before?
Actually, my wife taught me that little hack on putting the tape there and hanging up the light. So bigs up to her again. But well, one hack that I do use a lot, and I'm using right now, even as we're filming. And you know, some of the hacks I will film, and I will just show the general audience on, you know, how they can use it. And I might not use it that much myself, but a lot of the hacks I do use. One of them is the polycarbonate tops. Um,
Okay.
I love the flat polycarbonate tops. That saved me so much money, because I have this acrylic tank, this big tank sitting behind me here, and it didn't come with any tops for it. So if I was to buy glass tops for that tank, it would cost me a lot of money. But instead of doing that, I just hacked out and built my own polycarbonate tops for that tank, and they have worked out fantastically for many years. And I built one for the 40-gallon breeder. And what I like about polycarbonate tops is they're clear, they last forever, and you can never break them. Drop it on the ground, throw it
Yeah.
around, whatever, and you're going to put it right back on your tank, and it's going to still operate and do the same. And so when I showed that hack video on how to really get those to work for you really well, now that I think about it, I think that was one of my favorite probably hack videos, because I just love using polycarbonate tops for sure.
I don't know what happened with polycarbonate in general, because it used to be relatively inexpensive. I mean, you could go find a 4x8 sheet for like $20, and then all of a sudden, I went back thinking, all right, now that I have multiple tanks, I can definitely use some of this stuff. It was like $80 for one of the sheets. I was like, what happened? Did you guys make them too popular that people all of a sudden started buying it all up, or I don't know what happened, but they really got, I mean, it was crazy. It's kind of like gasoline today, where it's just shooting up every day and price. The same thing happened with those sheets. I was like, I just couldn't figure it out. What was the situation with that?
Hackers and DIY guys have screwed up a lot of things for people. We are sorry about that. We show people how to do these things with the cheap way and the affordable way, and then everybody catches on, and then these companies catch on, and whoop, there go the price goes up, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it's like pot scrubbies, right?
Uh-huh.
Pot scrubbies used to be like really cheap, man. You know, you get pot scrubbies like just on the dollar, you know, pennies on the dollar, you know. But since everybody started to use pot scrubbies for their filter media, all of a sudden, you know, you find them on Amazon. You know, you get 25 pot scrubbies, cost you $25. 25. It's just like, what in the world, man? You know, they're pot scrubbies
Yep.
for heaven's sakes. But you know, and so that happens sometimes. Aquarium people will catch on to the hacks, and companies will catch on to what they're doing, and shoo, that price goes up, man. You know.
Yeah, they'll still start boosting the product that wasn't moving before, and they're going, "Oh, what's going on? Why is this all of a sudden become pretty popular?" I know. It used to be going to like the dollar stores to go buy that stuff. Uh, by the time I caught wind of it, I was like, "No, I'm not doing it. It's too expensive." It was like $1 per pot scrubber, so I was like, "This is not worth it." There's another question for you. This is from Cy Savage Cichlets. He goes, Marcus, do you have any ideas for a hack to hold my water hose in the tank when doing water changes other than using a clamp? I have one. I want to see if you have one.
Uh, well, as you can see here, this old, I think I made a video on it some time ago. Poor man water change. Of course, I used that garbage bin bag there to do some of my water changes. Now, what I do is to hold mines, and this is just simple. It's just something that I do. I do the street way, the ghetto way. Okay, so what I do is I just simply take a dumbbell, 5 or 10 pound dumbbell,
Mm-hmm.
put my hose inside the tank, put that thing right on top of the hose, leave it in there, and pump my water out, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's, I know. It sounds kind of crazy, but it's simple, and it works. I mean, you know, I don't have to use a clamp. I just use a dumbbell on there and do my water changes, and you know, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure a clamp will
The
work as well.
my solution to that, I've seen one. That's not the one that I normally use, but I guess they sell these. Um, what is it? Washing machine uh, hooks for the hoses, so that you can put them into the drain in the back of the where the connectors are at,
Hmm.
and that gives you like a general bend where it won't kink the hose. That's one that I've seen people use, and I hadn't thought about it. I did my fix before I realized that that was available. Um, let me acknowledge a couple of people that some of my friends from Mexico that are here. Hey David, gracias por estar aquí. Mario, muchas gracias por estar conmigo. Les agradezco mucho que se pasen a apoyarme. And the other one was basically taking some PVC and a couple of elbows and an adapter where this is a little bit more intricate because you can actually adapt it either to a water hose, or if you're using one of the clear vinyl hoses, then I would find one that would allow you to adapt the hose bibs where you can kind of clamp it on there, and then with the PVC hook, which is, let me go grab it. You basically do a hook like, oh wait, you're not gonna be able to see that because I'm small. Yeah, you kind of build one of these, and then
Yep.
you just be able to connect it to your water hose. And they sell all of this stuff at any of the big box or any hardware store really. And you can decide whether you want to use a 3/4 PVC, 1 inch, half inch, whatever it is you want to do. This stuff um, has really been something that has helped me a lot. Now the only suggestion is I would make this loop up here a little bit wider than you need, because depending on the size of the aquarium, the black frame on the top could be a little bit wider, and you don't want to. This one I made the mistake of gluing the union up here. I have
Yeah.
another one that I learned from that is just tight fitted in, where I just kind of pressed it in. That allows me to remove that and add a little extender so that I can get over some of the wider frames. But
Yeah.
yeah, this stuff right here is a life changer. If that's one of my favorite hacks in the fish room.
Yep. And I could definitely see in that work as well. And that's a great hack, man. That's a great hack. Are you sure you don't want to be a guest on my show and tell people about some of your hacks?
Sure, I'd be happy to come on and share some of the stuff that I've done. I'll tell you what, when you're putting a fish room together, and I call it baller on a budget, but it's just the way I look. Truth being told, when growing up, we didn't have a lot of resources to be able to go out and buy stuff all the time. So we had to get pretty creative and make shit work, and so you get pretty resourceful and you get pretty ingenious in trying to figure things to solve stuff, and that's even now and today. I'm always trying to figure out a way to uh, if I can avoid having to go buy something and I can kind of work it or hack it myself. Shit, I'm gonna try that first.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. It's kind of really been ingrained in me. I mean, I build stands from scrap wood that I have laying around the garage room. It's just I'm not going to go out and buy a new set of 2x4s when I have stuff that I try to use as much as what I have before I run to the store and get something. And that's just one of the ways that I know that I've been able to save some money and some of the projects that I've been trying to put together in the fish room.
Yeah, and that's what my channel is particularly about as well. It's about saving money, man, because everything is so expensive, and so if you got it around your house and you got a little bit of building skills, you you know, you can hack out a lot of different stuff just sitting around the house, you know, and and that's what it's about. That's how you hack out, you know, and it's about saving money, man. I mean, that's what I'm about, saving money.
Yeah, because it one of the agreements that I made with myself to be able to justify my fish room was that, and it is, I never even told my wife this, but it's just kind of like my own personal thing is I don't want to, anything I want to do in the fish room, I don't want it to have to dip into the family budget. What I do in the fish room is either from the stuff that I generate from creating content, or I find a way to find stuff that's either that's being given away, or at this point, people just kind of reach out to me and it's like, dude, I'm getting rid of this tank. Do you want it? And it's like I'm having to learn to say no. I never thought I'd have to get to that point, but it's gotten to a point now where I have to learn to say thank you, but now I can't take it because I mean, I've kind of I'm at that point now where I have tanks that I'm not using that are laying on the floor. As a matter of fact, there was a tank here that I didn't want to get rid of because I thought I was going to use. I know this kid that's here locally that's breeding goldfish, and I guess his 55-gallon um, the 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 middle brace of the tank, the typical thing where it's separated, and he was trying to look for a tank. I'm gonna have to call him up and say, "Hey, dude, come and get this out of here before I regret giving it away because it's in the way right now. I'm not using it. It's not the only one that's sitting there empty, but I need to make room. I really need to get rid of stuff, which is something that I didn't think was going to be very hard for me to do. But you know, it's if you're not careful, you'll start hoarding more than the stuff that you need, and then you're like, what am I going to do with this stuff? You don't want to get rid of it because you think you might need it, but half the times when you end up needing it, you can't even find it because you have so much junk laying around.
I'm the same way, George. I got way too much junk around here, and you know, sometimes I put that stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and I try to sell some of my stuff. I just helped a young family out just getting into the fish aquarium hobby. We did a little trade, and I gave them some air pumps. I gave them a mono shrimp and another shrimp, and they gave me a big old thing of Java moss and stuff like that, you know, and I try to do a little local trading and stuff like that. But you're right, you can collect way too many things that you don't need, you know, in the hobby. Oh, and just as you was talking about that brace that broke in the middle of the tank. See, hack just came into my mind. You know, this is how you fix that brace. You just simply take the outside brace off, and you make your brace out of 2x4s going all the way around, and then get you a middle, and you use stainless screws for your middle brace, and put your 2x4 in there. You know, and then put it together, screw it in. That's going to seal it tight. Make sure you put some kind of water treatment on the outside of that brace, and bam, you have fixed your brace on your 55-gallon tank that was broken. But anyway, man, you know, stuff like that, like I said, it just comes up, man. It just
I love it how people are creative in that aspect because I've seen a post on Facebook where the guy took one of those big vice clamps, the long ones like the pipe towel clamps, and he used that to brace the middle of the tank. I was like, hey, whatever works, buddy. You know, I wouldn't do it because I don't. It's just kind of in the way, the excess side of it. But in a pinch, while you figure out what you're gonna do, hell yeah, I'll do that. I've had there was or there still is a site on the web that actually sells you the plastic frames to be able to change them out. But they're not as cheap as you would think because they're so hard to mail unless you the one that I ended up getting from them was one that is kind of split. They sell it to you in two parts, so you have two center braces for the sections. And that one's been on my time. I actually, to be honest, I think that's a better replacement than the one the one strap that goes across, because it's gonna fail. And it seems like as time goes by, they get even cheaper and cheaper on the amount of plastic and how brittle that plastic is, that they start snapping. But you know, that's a whole different gripe.
Yeah, yeah. You would think after the many decades, companies would do better than that when they're making those frames for the tank. They would think of something better, make something stronger. But it's sadly in the aquarium world, it's a market in money making thing. We can make it cheap. If it breaks later on, we hope the customer comes back and buy another tank.
Mhm.
And that's why I try to encourage hacks, man, DIYs, man, because it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. I think, at least I hope so. So.
So, how long have you had your YouTube channel? I know you said that your wife kind of suggested you starting it, but how long have you been doing this?
I haven't looked at my. Give me 1 second, George, and I can probably, if I can look at my first video, because I
Oh, your
don't.
analytics will tell you.
Yeah, if I can look at my first video here, and then I can exactly tell you how long I've been doing this YouTube thing. Now, I wasn't that strong in it years ago, but I've probably been doing this since, let's see, 2000 and 2000 and something.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I made so I forgot how many videos I've made, but let's
Yeah,
see.
no,
I was doing well. I was doing this. My first video was out 8 years ago.
oh wow.
So yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah, you've been grinding since for quite some time now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure have. So that's when I made my first video on YouTube. Was about eight 8 years ago. So I've been doing it for about 8 years. I've been doing it pretty heavily. I would say in the last 2 3 years, probably been doing it pretty heavy in the last 3 years. I would say. You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's what I was telling them before you were able to come up on here. Is that um, you're one of the content creators that's consistently putting out new stuff, and that's one of the things that's really cool because a lot of the times you're looking for stuff just to be able to consume. One of my biggest times for me to be able to watch or listen to videos is when I'm working in the fish room, especially if I'm doing like multiple water changes and stuff like that. I'm always trying to find either playlist or content that's out there, and it seems like lately it's becoming a little bit harder and harder to find consistent videos being put out. It seems like there's more distance in between them. I'm a prime example of that. I don't put out, I don't put out videos on a weekly or on a schedule. It's just kind of like, all right, I think this might be a good video, so I'll put it out. But I know your channel, it seems like almost at least every other week there's a new video that's coming out, which is I am totally surprised how you can keep that up. I tried it for a while. I know when I was making my big push to get to 1,000, that was about the only time where I got on a regular schedule and I was trying to put out at least one video per week. And once I hit that goal, it's just kind of like got off the throttle and said, "All right, I'm good."
yeah, I guess I really like making content now that I've gotten into it, and sometimes I will make throughout the week maybe 2 or 3 videos for that week, but they won't come out until 2 3 weeks. Later I put a video out this week, and then I'll wait the next week, and I've already made like 3 or 4 videos that week. So that frees my time up, in between those videos. So if I made 4 videos in one week, and I'm putting out one video a week, well, that's a whole month in between where I don't have to worry about making content. I can just, have those videos that come out as the weeks go by. So that's what kind of helps me. And then I just can't help it a lot of times if I'm just like I said earlier, if I'm thinking of something or if I'm looking at something, I'm like, I better make a video about it because if I don't, I'm going to forget the filming. I'm going to get busy with the project, and I'm not going to be worried about that camera. I'm just going to be trying to get the project done. So let me go ahead and make a video about it. Then I'll save it, and then I'll put it out in the future sometime. So that's kind of how I do it, man.
Now,
I
what
just
part
made
of
a
the country
video
are you?
yesterday.
Oh, okay. What part of the country are you located in?
I am in the Midwest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not too far from J&N of Aquatics. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
live in it. I don't live in this state, but I am not too far away from him. And Jeremy and Naomi's are really really cool people. Really like them. I've been to his store several times, and he's a great businessman, and he has a lot of great fish and a lot of great products. I like going over there when I get a chance.
Yeah, I know that for a while there, he was really like daily posting on TikTok, and but I haven't seen him in a while, so I don't know what's going on with him. If I figured they probably gotten busy with the store and doing some other stuff. So, but I know they had a YouTube channel, but I think they just found it easier to do more stuff on TikTok. So if you got a business, I don't blame them either because you're trying to bring in clients to. I mean, you're trying to bring in customers to your shop, so you're going to go look where you get the most response. And I think for YouTube, it's kind of weird because they won't really push your stuff until you know you meet certain milestones, and that's the only downside. Where what I found with TikTok, almost immediately. I mean, I think that's the one platform where I have the most subscribers and I don't do anything at all really down there compared to the stuff that I do here on YouTube and on Instagram. Um, Down there, I just kind of post and ghost. I just kind of goes, and it's all little shorts that I upload, and within days you're picking up a few hundred subscribers. It's crazy. It's a different animal down there, and it's definitely a different type of hobbyist. But still, I mean, if you're looking to branch out and grow your channels, I would recommend posting whatever it is you're sharing on YouTube to just kind of take that same stuff and put it out there on TikTok. And
I might try TikTok. I'm really I'm on Facebook a little bit. I'm mainly on YouTube, but you are right about YouTube. I haven't made 1 cent from YouTube, not one dime. And this is not, and you know, it's not cheap to do hacks all the time, especially when you're spending the money on it, right? And you're not getting compensated for it. And so I might actually have to try out TikTok and see what they can do for me. And it's not a bad thing to get paid on YouTube, compensated for your video and your content and your time and stuff like that. It just takes time to get it done on YouTube. I mean, I don't know what else more I could possibly do, but I'm still waiting for that first little paycheck. I mean, $50, $25, something, something to help a brother out, right?
yeah, yeah, that whole idea that you're gonna make bank on YouTube. That's it. Might have been at one point, like some of the original channels. It ain't now. You're not. I mean, I always tell them about every 2 weeks I might get $120 from YouTube. I mean, every 2 months. Um, just and it's all just on ad revenue, really. I mean, because I don't push any of the other stuff. I've never been comfortable with doing that, so I don't. I rather whatever gets generated is from work that I've actually done, and I rather YouTube pay for that and not the audience. I'm not. I don't know. That it makes me feel dirty for some reason. But I'll take YouTube's ad revenue. I don't have a problem with that because
Right.
that's paying for videos that I uploaded, but it's not much. You're not, unless you're really going out there and making these viral videos. It's, you're really doing this for the love of the art. It's not a way to really, you might make enough money to be able to pay for your fish food that the fish consume in the fish room. That's about it.
I'm starting to believe that too, man. And it's and I guess what frustrates me a little bit about it, I have over 1,000 subscribers, and I have a lot of commercials on my videos, and I'm not getting paid one penny for those commercials. So all that revenue is going to YouTube, and I'm making YouTube money, but YouTube's not making me, $1 right now. And so hopefully I can get to the point where I can at least generate, some cash flow back my way, which, like I said, just helps out with the hacks. And once that starts happening, I will start actually doing, once I start getting money from YouTube, I was actually start doing deeper and heavier hacks. I start building maybe canister filters and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to put my own money into building this complicated filtering system, that's going to cost me $100 to build to show to everybody, and I'm not going to even use it, and I'm not even. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you end up spending more money to do a video than what you're ever going to be able to recuperate from that video. That was one of the reasons why I also kind of wanted to have you on as a guest, because hopefully this gives a little bit of a spotlight to your channel, and we get people flowing and going to watch some of the videos you have, because a lot of the videos that are out there are stuff that you're trying to come up with an idea to solve a problem that you might have, and you got a catalog, obviously an 8-year catalog of content that's out there that you're more than likely going to find an answer to the problem that you're trying to solve. So that's one of the reasons why I definitely want you on here, so that people become aware that you have these videos out there. And shit, I thought, I knew you'd been on for a while. I didn't realize it was 8 years. So hopefully this gives you a little bit push, and we get you where you should be for a person that's been creating content for 8 years. So,
Yeah.
The name of the channel, it's called Aquarium Hacks by Marcus.
Yes.
They're asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and then there's a question here from Mikey. He says, do you have a red tail catfish?
No, I don't have a red tail catfish.
On that topic, what kind of fish do you keep?
As of presently, now we're not talking about my past, because that would take until tomorrow. But as of presently, I like to keep Lake Tanganyika cichlids. Okay. Those are my main fish that I like to keep. Now I keep a mixed tank with those, with Congo tetras. I got some Synodontis catfish mixed in there. I think I got one Harlequin Rasbora still left in there. I've got some dwarf neon rainbow fish in there. Fish that you normally want to keep with cichlids, but this mix works good because Tanganyika cichlids, for the most part, are usually not as aggressive as Mabuna and peacocks and stuff like that. And as long as your community fish can handle that hard water, then they'll be just fine. And I keep a dedicated 40-gallon multifasciatus multi-shell dweller tank. And I've got my Blue Dream shrimp tank going on right now. And so those are the 3 aquariums that I keep right now.
Okay. Yeah, that was I know I've seen some of your tanks. You show them when you're working on them, but I didn't know if a lot of channels will focus like on a certain type of a species of fish. I'm all over the place. I got stuff from everywhere. It's just one of those things where you get collectoritis. You want to have a little. It's like trying to collect all the Pokemon out there. You see a lot of stuff, and it's like And the hardest thing is keeping yourself from getting too far ahead of that. let me take care of a little bit of a housekeeping. Okay, let me do this. One of the things that I like to do in my live stream, and I know I haven't mentioned this in a while, is I like to give people, I like to make people uh, moderators, not because I'm expecting them to uh, do any work, but one of the things that I've come to appreciate from being able to be a moderator is that it allows you to, in the chat, to be able to click on people's links and it'll take you directly to their channel so you can go check them out. And I want to thank KJ for posting your link to your channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Let me see. I just kind of make sure that everybody that's in here has got the ability to be able to go and check out other people's channels. So I got Tiny Fish Room, Mikey. Let me see if there's anybody else that I might be missing. Okay, Jacob. No, wait up. All right. I think that's everybody. Yeah, I think that's everybody. So, okay, so I'm caught up with that. Let me see. Lots of I'm all over the place too. Yeah, it's one of those things. Until I think now, after doing this for a while, I've kind of found pretty much what I really enjoy, and I'm trying to. I one of the things that I like is having big aquariums with a bunch of small fish. And the reason I do that is because I like seeing the fish behavior, and it's funny because you give them more space. Obviously, the smaller the fish is, the tank's going to seem a lot bigger, and if you get a bunch of them together, it really becomes really interesting. You start seeing schooling behaviors, and that's the stuff that I like watching. That to me, a tank that has a group of fish that'll swim together back and forth is something that I really find appealing and I enjoy a lot. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think eventually, like everything else, though, um, everything is kind of cyclical in this hobby. Stuff that was popular, today might fall out of popularity, and then something that was popular 3 or 4 years ago will resurface again. I know I saw that when I started getting a little bit more into the fish hobby on YouTube. Aquarium, uh, African cichlids were the rave. Everybody seemed to have, especially like OB peacock tanks. Everybody had all these channels where that was kind of like their main display, and then that kind of went away. And I think right now I think we're sort of peaking when it comes to like the Planet Aquarium tanks with community fish. I think it's hit that peak, and I think it's going to slowly start, on the backslide of that, and then it'll be interesting to see what comes up again. I think maybe cichlids might make a return. Because I remember it was like African cichlids, and then flower horns became like everybody had a flower horn, and then they went from that to whatever was the next big thing. But it's funny because the trends go back and forth. I know. Oh, what's going to be the latest trend is all of a sudden now that Aquarium Co-op has released their undergravel filter, they're going to start becoming popular again, which I've always had them. I've always had them when I first started in the hobby. That was the very first uh, filter system that I had. It always worked really good. I never understood why they went away, but now that Aquarium Co-op has got their own one, I guarantee you're going to start seeing more people going, "Oh yeah, undergravel filters are the best filters out there."
And it's a funny thing with filtration and things like that. I think in the hobby sometimes, and I'm guilty of it. We spend way too much money on filtration when so many things will work, man. I mean, I did a video back some time ago just to give it a test and to prove it. I ran this big old cichlid tank of mine back here off of nothing but sponge filters. And we're talking about a tank that is heavily stocked. Okay, we got a tank that's got cichlids in it, big, fish in it, pretty good sized fish, and I ran it off of 3 sponge filters, and I was successful with that. Now, was it as clear as I wanted it to be? It was pretty clear, but it wasn't as clear as as I wanted to be. And eventually, I broke it down after I proved that it could happen. And I broke it down and I went back to my canisters. But it just shows you that you can be successful in this hobby, running different types of filtration. It don't take as much, according to what you have, really, but it don't take as much filtration to do an aquarium. Is what people might think. It's just far as just doing the processing of ammonia and nitrite and nitrate. It don't take as much. Like I said, I've built aquariums out of soda bottle soda bottles and plastic bottles, and work just great, just with that, in the air stone. Is it pretty? No.
Yeah.
Is it functional? Yes. Will it work? Of course. Do everybody want that in their tank? I don't. but it does the job. It works. I mean, if you're on a budget, you don't got no money, get your soda bottle, cut that thing in half, drill some holes in, put your airstone in there, put your media in there, pot scrubbies, boom, you're done.
Yeah, it's good to know how to do that stuff, because in a pinch, if you have set up an emergency tank for whatever and you don't have an extra filter, that's a way to kind of solve that problem. I think when it comes to filtration, the biggest limitation is not understanding um, how the filtration works. Especially biological filtration. Once you understand how you all aquariums have biological filtration, you really sometimes find out that you don't need as much. uh, I always fascinated by people that'll have like multiple canister filters on a like a 120 or something like that. It's kind of like, well, I mean, I get it. I mean, if you want to have uh uh peace of mind, I guess that's the way to go with it, but you really don't need that many. I mean, I guess what it really boils down to, by having multiple canisters, you're kind of cutting down on the maintenance period. That's the only thing that I can see, where you're not having to dip in there every week. You can probably extend it to every month. I get that, but that, is it really needed? I'd beg you to argue. I don't think you really need it, but it's like everything else. If you got the money to do what you want to do, well, do it. I mean, it's your money. I mean, you should be able to freely spend it as you want to spend it. So, but
And
that's just me.
yeah, and you're exactly right about that. Like on this big tank back here, I probably got this thing over filtered more than anything else in the world. Let me tell you what I got going on this big tank. I've got two Eheim 2217s on it. Each one's got a big sponge on their pre-filter. I've got two hang on the backs on it, Seachem titles on it. I've got house plants in there. I've got hydroponics in there. Yes, it is way over filtered, but that's what I like running. That's what I
Mhm.
like to do. Now, one of the reasons why I do that is because sometimes when I'm setting up another tank, or if one of my filters fail, I know I've got one that will back it up and keep it going, especially if I'm out on vacation or out of town or something like that. Safe, just a safety thing of mine. Do I need all that? No, I don't have to run all that. Do I like to run all that? Of course I do. That's why I'm doing it. But the thing is, it keeps my tank is kept crystal clear all the time. I've got a UV sterilizer on it. The fish are always healthy. And so you know, I don't have to run all that filtration, but you know, then again though, George, I do have some very expensive fish. One Calvin cichlids, I got compressor subs and Calvin cichlids, and those are very expensive. Mine's
Yeah.
about that big, And you get a fish, a Calvin cichlid that big, you're looking at almost $100 for one fish. You
Yeah.
know, and I've got several of them. So that might be a little bit of reason why I run my filtration like that, because of the expensive fish that I do have in the tank. So you know,
Yeah, no, I think one of the for people that are looking for a easy hack to kind of cut down on maintenance of any other equipment, whether it's a hang on the back, whether it's a canister or a sump, is adding a pre-filter to your intake. Uh, if you do that, it makes it one where you'll have to cut down on the times that you have to get into your filtration system. And the other one is it's a quick, easy, because all you got to do is remove that pre-filter, squeeze it out, and put it back on there. It is surprisingly how much of that junk gets get caught up on that pre-filter, and it really extends the maintenance of the filter from cleanings. That hack there is almost a must for anybody that has uh, any kind of filtration that has an intake.
yeah,
It's really really a valuable hack to have.
yeah, and I definitely 100% agree with that. And also as to the biological filtration overall as well, it's kind of like having a sponge filter and a canister filter all in one, right? Or a hang on the back, because you got your pre-filter, which is going to act like a sponge filter, and then you got your uh, canister or your hang on the back, which is also a filter as well, and you're able to just increases your overall biological filtration in your tank. Is it do you need all that? Like I said, a person can get by without it. They can, but we do like to keep tanks that we enjoy. We do like to keep tanks that we like to keep clear. If we want clear water, that's what we do. And that's what I try to tell people help people to understand about the hobby. This is your fish tank. This is your fish tank. There ain't nobody else's fish tank. This is your money. You're spending the money on it. You're spending the time on it. Fix it up the way that you like it. You don't have to do it. There's not one set way to do things. Do the things that work best for you in your environment with your type of water, because everybody's water is different. I have a brother that lives down in Louisiana, down in Baton Rouge. His water is very soft water. It's almost when I go down there and take a shower, I think that I got silk hitting me or something. I mean, his water is so soft. My water here, and by the way, I'm from Missouri, so I go ahead and say that I'm from Missouri. But my water here in Missouri is like rocks. It's just hard. It's hard water. So with his tank, the type of fish that he can keep successfully, even though fish are very adaptable, but the kind of types that he could keep successfully, like rams and maybe autumn angelfish and stuff like that require that soft water, he's going to have far greater success than I will with my tap water that is hitting at 8.0 through 8.4 pH. Okay, that's that's what it's hitting. And so I'm more amped to keeping more harder water fish, because I know I'm going to have more success with that type of fish. Even though, like I said, fish are adaptable and things of that nature, but you got that hard water. Try to, you want more success. Try to keep the harder water fish that like that water. I mean, so.
Yeah, they're asking what part of Missouri or Misery are you in?
Misery, it sure feels like a misery, man. It's so hot and humid here. I'm surprised I'm not sweating no gravel right down here. Got my humidifier off. I I don't. Well, I guess I can answer that question. I can put it this way. I'm from Southeast Missouri.
Okay,
I'll put it that way. I'm from
good enough.
Southeast. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So like I said, it's just according to your your water and stuff. Now, what's interesting, George, if you don't mind me saying this. Now, my brother is also. I have another brother that is from Southeast Missouri, and he has a 40-gallon breeder tank.
Okay.
Okay, he has, and I'm going to feature on one of my later videos again because it definitely deserves another video. But he has the most beautiful planted tank, you know, at least that I've seen, at least around here, and his pH, is 6.8.
Oh
Now I
wow.
just
Okay.
now our like I said, our water here 8.0 to 8.4. He has it 6.8. So what he does all this the soft substrate, whatever it takes to get the substrate soft, and he does all this other stuff to get it the way that he wants to do it. That's a lot of work to convert, hard water like we got to 6.8. And so it's according, again, like I said, to the what you want to do. If you want softer water fish here, and you want to put in the time and work to, have those kind of fish, then it's up to your finances and what you want to do. So, but I just thought that
Yeah.
was pretty amazing for him to have a pH of 6.8 from 8.0. So that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's becoming acidic water, and that's great for like cardinal tetras, a lot of the South American fish that are in high tannin waters.
Yeah,
That's like the perfect water for those guys, especially if you're trying to breed stuff like a pistols and things like that. They
yeah.
prefer that more acidic water. MNC Aquatics is a friend of mine. His name's Mike. He does a similar thing that I'm doing here, where he has guests on once in a while. But he wants you to know that he's in the southeast Kansas area. He says he's right on the state line with Missouri. Maybe don't be surprised if he reaches out too and invites you on to be on one of his live streams. They have more of a panel format with some other friends of mine. Usually it'll be like Jeff Kane, Curtis, which is Skull Aquatics, Mike. They're kind of the standard guys, and they'll kind of do the same thing. So hopefully he'll reach out to you, and the more exposure you get, the more it's going to help your channel. At least that's what I think. I know that's initially what was done for me, and it really did help out for my channel to grow as quickly as it did. And I just figured that's just a little bit that I can give back to the generosity that people have shown to me. Um, so yeah, they're always looking for interesting guests. I I would definitely recommend you to them, and maybe they'll be reaching out too.
Oh, that'll be great, and it's been an honor to be on your show as well, George. Yeah, I mean, I was really looking forward to this all week, and something that I was just thinking about too. You remember some of the we were talking about YouTube fish channels. You remember some of the old channels that were out like IFG,
Yeah,
Adam C. Some of these guys were Rachel O'Leary. I don't see her very much either anymore. But these guys were really good at the hobby. I mean, they were. I mean, they knew their stuff, and it's just so sad to see such great Aquarius as these guys were. And like I said, they weren't as big as some of these other channels were,
yeah,
but they really knew their stuff. And it's just sad to see you don't see those guys making any more content anymore. And that's what happens to so many of our wonderful aquarium channels. I guess they just kind of get burnt out, maybe not making enough revenue. I don't know, but I just wanted to give a shout out to those guys, and hopefully they can come back out with some more videos later on. I sure hope so.
yeah. No, I totally agree with that. One of the things that I think that usually ends up happening is people run into like health issues, and that's one of the reasons why they kind of go away. I know that was the issue with Rachel. And then
Yeah.
sometimes it's the craziest thing that I've seen on here is the aquarium beefs. I sit here and go, what the hell's going on?
I know,
Why are we
man.
beefing? But it's funny. It doesn't surprise me because at the end of the day, we're just human beings, right? The only difference is here we're sharing our interest and we just haven't having that commonality. But personalities are personalities, and sometimes they just don't jive with each other. And you have people going at each other, for whatever reasons, and it's kind of like, yeah, this can get pretty wild sometimes. And I think that's one of the things that unfortunately sometimes happen, and they just kind of go away, and that's but some of them just kind of hang out in the peripherals, and eventually they kind of work their way back in. But yeah,
Yeah.
more often than not I see channels go away because they get into these little beef spats, and then it's like, what are we in the hip-hop world where we're kind of battling each other? I don't get it, but
There,
yeah, it is what it is. I think the more grounded people are the ones that stick around and are here for the longer run, or manage not to pay attention to that shit. So, yeah,
yeah. It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that. There's more important things like paying your rent or your mortgage and gas
yeah,
prices going up. Okay, so there's more important things in life, right? But it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I have had people who was uh, really mad at me about some of the content, that I come out with. I mean, this is I'm not telling you to do it. This, I mean, this is just my experience of what works for me.
yeah,
There isn't one way on how to do this hobby. I mean, I've been doing it for and what gets me, I guess, George, and I know we can all continue to learn in the hobby, but what gets me is when someone is trying to force their beliefs in the hobby on you, and talking to you is like I don't know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah,
It's like talking to me like I just been in the hobby just for 6 months, or I just been in the hobby just for a month or something. You're talking to an experienced fish keeper here. You're not talking to somebody that has just put on his shoes and tied his shoes up and just started to walk. Okay,
yeah,
so and so when and I'm not saying that I can't continue to learn things, and I do continue to learn things, but the way how you present yourself and the way how you go about doing that is very important. You don't go pushing your ideals on people. You don't try to have these little beefs and all this kind of stuff with people, and because it's not that important. It's not. This isn't about your entire life. You enjoy the hobby and things of that nature, and if it works for you, then good, great. You can have a respectable comment on my channel. I don't mind criticism, but don't be spreading. I won't tolerate negativity. I won't tolerate people talking down about me or my video. I don't do that to nobody else, and I don't expect them to do that to me. It's about having mutual respect. And if a person can't do that, I'd rather for them not to even watch the video, honestly,
yeah,
because my channel, I have a lot of young kids on my channel, right? I have a lot of young kids watching my channel, and if they're gonna be doing that kind of stuff on my channel, saying things that shouldn't be said, they're out of there. So just try to keep respecting the community, respect on the channel, respect each other. It's fine to get your ideals out there, but just don't disrespect the maker of the video.
yeah,
That's not necessary. You
yeah.
know.
It's funny how sometimes people get on these camps. It's like team EXO and so, and they'll come out here and they'll try to you know chastise you for stuff that you do, and it's kind of like, what, this is not that serious, bro. This is I'm just sharing with you what's worked for me, and that's about it. It's not this is not the get all solve all. I mean, it's just a it's just my own opinion. That's all it is. And but yeah, I that's the only dark side of this is where you get these little cult followings, and they said, and it's funny because a lot of the times it's not even the content creator that's really pushing that. It's the people that that rally around that content creator, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, oh no, this is the way, kind of kind of thing. But I think one of the good things is that I'm a little bit older, so I've seen a lot of shit, and it's kind of like I laugh it off instead of taking it serious, and it's just kind of like move on. It's like I don't get hung up on those kind of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, but they are out there, and eventually they go away. It's like everything else. If everything goes in cycles. Everything goes in cycles. Everybody has their peaks and valleys, and but yeah, I understand totally what you're saying.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And so, this is it's a wonderful hobby, wonderful community. I've been doing it for 30 years, and if I didn't do it, if I didn't like it, or if I didn't have some kind of love for the hobby, then I wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm never going to try to downplay or disrespect anyone else's content, because for one thing, I'm not from their state. Their water quality and their way of doing things is going to be different than what I do. I'm just showing you, experiences from where I live and my water quality in my state. You might have water similar to mine that might work great for you. You might have that pH of 6.8. It might not work great. It might not work great for you. But these are my experiences from what I have learned over my 30 plus years of being in this hobby. And it's just been great. A lot of people fall out of the hobby. I have managed to stay interested in the hobby for this long. Now there has been time periods where I didn't keep any fish tanks. It's been 2 or 3 years I didn't have any fish tanks. Then I got back into it, and I've been into it pretty steadily for many years now. And we're just trying to keep people interested in this hobby because it is a great hobby. And there's so many things you can do with it. So many hacks, so much fun you can have in this hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if people wanted to get a hold of you or reach out to you, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Whew. I try to keep my life a little bit more private than usual, especially on YouTube.
Do you have like an Instagram account, or do you have? Oh, you said Facebook, right? Facebook is probably the.
I do have Facebook. Yes, I definitely do have Facebook.
No, but is it your personal, or is it a channel?
It's a personal. My
Okay.
Facebook.
No, okay. So what about like comments in your? If somebody leaves a comment in your video, is that a good way for them to be able to, establish a line of communication with you? Then.
Yes. If they leave a comment in my video, and if I go to their site, I go to their YouTube video and they have it down, kind of like yours, where you can get in contact with a person through Facebook and Messenger, stuff like that. I'll find them through there. I will message them via private message, and we can talk from there on what we need to do or what they want to do, if they need some more information or whatever. I kind of keep my because I don't know. There's a lot of people in my area that know me because we work in the school system. Me and my wife do, and so I guess I try to keep a lot of the kids from. And granted, the kids found out who I was, and I didn't really want to. That's probably where I got my 1,000 subscribers from. And so I try to keep that. I try to keep that as private as possible, but I don't mind reaching out to, content creators like yourself, George, and other content creators.
Yeah.
It's just that they're going to have to contact me first through YouTube. I go to their page, I find their Instagram account, or I find their Facebook account, and we'll start talking back and forth like that. So that's probably the best way, probably.
Yeah,
right
they're
now,
asking, do you have a Discord account that's like kind of channel oriented or anything like that?
Not yet. I need to actually create one on Facebook.
I would recommend you creating an email using your channel name. That's kind of what I did with mine. And that's probably because I found that to be the best way to separate all communications that are pertaining to the hobby for my personal life, and without having to give out my personal number. So I just went to like gmail.com and actually typed in my channel name, and it was available. And I said, bingo, this will be the account for people to try to reach out to me, for whatever reason. And I would, if you don't have something like that, I would recommend you look into it. It might be the best way to keep everything separate so that people are not contacting you directly in your personal media, social media. It's more the channel stuff, and you know, and that way you keep those two worlds separated.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Matter of fact, I think I will set up me a little Gmail account just with Aquarium Hacks by Marcus at gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get that set up probably here very soon. And I will post that on one of my videos and have that down in my description. And that way, if people want to get in contact with me, they definitely can, because, you know, I mean, like I said, I sell aquarium. You know, that's pretty good way to generate, I guess, a little extra money too, because I sell a lot of aquarium plants and sometimes and products and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, I like that, George.
Okay. And MNC Aquatics said that if you don't mind, you know, that you can reach out to him on his account on Facebook under MC Aquatics. Um, I know he's definitely interested. Him and I share a lot of guests because we kind of, we're very similar when it comes to our philosophy when it comes to fish keeping. That a lot of the times we recommend guests to each other. That's why when you were here, I was like, immediately I was thinking MNC Aquatics needs to have Marcus on their live stream, and he'll send people over to me too. He goes, "Hey, dude, I've been watching this person. Go check them out." So we always we've kind of built a little network where we try to support each other, and you know, we just that's if we want this community to continue to grow. I feel that that's the best way to do it, is kind of working with each other instead of working against each other. So
That right there is a very positive thought, man. Work with each other, help it to grow, and let's not work against each other. This is the aquarium world. We love what we do. It's our hobby. But there's make no sense to beat each other up about that. Go beat each other up about something about these gas prices. Let's beat each other up about these gas prices. They're just too high. But let's not. Let's not beat each other up about our aquarium hobby. Let's learn from one another. Let's understand what really works. Let's understand. If certain ones are doing certain tests on certain things, what worked for them and why it worked. The more education we get about it, the better the hobby becomes. And so that's what I'm about, man. And like I said, George, I just love hacking. I'm gonna continue to make content from time to time. And man, just being a guest on your show has just been an experience that I'm really, really grateful for.
well, Marcus, I want to thank you for accepting and coming on. I know sometimes it's kind of weird when you get stalked by somebody. I've kind of become a notorious stalker in the community because I usually, once I find somebody that I really find interesting and feel that you know, they should share what they're doing with us, you know, I'm always trying to figure out a way to reach out to them. I'm glad you finally did, and I look forward to seeing what you continue to do. And you know, I look forward to also seeing you on some other live streams, and maybe in the future that's something. Well, I get it. If you're in the education system, it's, you know, you really you unfortunately you kind of do expose yourself the more you're out on social media. And yeah, I get that. I can respect that. But you know, I still look forward to seeing your videos and hopefully maybe as a guest on some other live streams.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to having some conversation with some of these other YouTube channels, and man, yeah, it's just a cool community. It's just nice to do that, and to talk to other YouTube creators and hobbyists is just something that's awesome. I think it's just an awesome thing to do.
Yeah, and a couple of people have mentioned that they've gone and subscribed to your channel, so you might have picked up a few new subscribers. So, you know, like I said, that was the whole point of this is being able provide a little bit of a spotlight for you and bring more attention. Like I said, I find great value in what you're doing, and you know, that was just a way for me to be able to bring a little bit of attention, and hopefully it benefits you in the long run.
Yeah, yeah, and I definitely hope it does too. And if if it uh, if it doesn't, then I will continue to make content that will help people out in the hobby. I mean, enjoy doing it, and it's just a nice thing to do. I just enjoy doing it. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, Marcus, again, thank you so much for accepting the invitation, and I want to thank everybody that was in the chat today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today, and and I encourage you guys. Thank you, Cam Jam, for putting Marcus's link to his channel again. Uh, Wait, did I? I think I didn't do it, but typically I like to put the links. Yeah, it's in the description of this video. If for some reason you can't find it on there, go check out the description. I put a link for Marcus's channel, and go check him out. And at the bare minimum, create a playlist from his videos, and hopefully we can get him monetized. I mean, not he's already monetized, but hopefully he starts seeing a little bit of revenue for the work that he's put in. So, with that being said, thank you guys, and I'll be a guest. I'm gonna flip the script on people. I'm gonna actually be a guest on Uncle Joe's Fish Shed this evening. It's gonna be I believe 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then whatever falls in the middle. But hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. If not, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And again, make sure you guys go check out Marcus and see what he's up to, and make sure you guys say hi to him. So with that being said, thank you guys. See you guys in the next one. You guys take care, and see you guys soon.
All right.